Project Stadia.
All right.
So I'm pretty excited about this. I think this will be cool.
Someone explain.
Yes.
Yes,
Niko.
please.
Here we go.
Explique.
Phil Harrison, who used to work for, I think it was Sony, has now been working for Google and leading this project. And Project Stadia was basically, you guys remember OnLive back in the day?
Yes.
So OnLive was like a little box you put on your TV, and when it would stream your basically. Okay, I'm doing a horrible job.
It's a gaming streaming service.
All right, here we
It's
go.
like Netflix for games.
Well, no, what does that mean? Like Twitch? Heck no. Here's how it works.
But for playing.
Your computer is
Don't tap
stored
the table.
at Google's data center. Your controller is at your house. And what happens is you hit your input on your controller, it goes into your Wi-Fi, it goes to the internet, it goes to their data center, it changes something on their computer, and it sends back your image. So basically imagine your console being really far away in someone else's network hub.
But
that's basically what Project Stadia is.
But OnLive sucked because the latency sucked.
Mm-hmm.
And that is kind of the issue with all online gaming.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
It's
just
the
this
latency.
latency.
Yes, because you're waiting for your signal to go all the way out there, hit their computer, get rendered, and come all the way back and get displayed on your
So
TV.
how is this different?
So Google, as you might know, owns the internet, basically.
They have a lot of servers.
I'm being a little facetious here, but Google has a lot of network infrastructure. So they're getting around all the different hops and changes and connections that you have to do, and they're just straight piping it right to their server. And here's the other thing. You might imagine that, like, oh, when you send a signal, it has to like go to the other side of like America. The reality is that Google has a data center probably within a 50-mile radius of where you are, no matter where you are in America. There's, I think, 7,500 or 6,500 data centers.
Really?
So,
in America?
Yeah, in America.
Wow.
So every single city basically has one in it. So at that point, all you're doing when you're hitting a button is just, like, if we're here in our studio and we wanted to use it, it's just going to a data center that's maybe a mile away in downtown and coming back. It's probably a data center we film Sync at.
Probably.
Yeah. So it's really not going that far, and then Google has the network infrastructure to directly send it right there without hopping between a bunch of different hubs. So it becomes a lot faster. I've heard that the latency is like 20 to 30 milliseconds. And just for reference, a frame at 60 frames per second is 16 milliseconds. So you're basically one frame behind your video game, which is more or less unnoticeable. The thing is, most people don't realize this, but if you have your video game console hooked up to your TV with HDMI, you're like 70 to 200 milliseconds behind.
Yeah, and that's I've played on some TVs that just have really slow processing speeds. So it's like the input lag from your controller. You press up and you press down. It's like I can't even play on those TVs.
No, neither can I. It's awful. But people didn't really notice until they got Guitar Hero, and it's like, I'm missing a lot of notes on this TV for some reason.
Yeah.
So Project Stadia is basically like letting you not have to own a computer, not have to own a console. You just own your controller, and it connects to your Wi-Fi, and then you play from that, and it gets piped to your Chromecast or whatever on your TV. So
Or your phone.
or your
laptop.
or your iPad, or your laptop. Any screen, basically, it can hop to it. So you imagine you're playing on your TV, and you're like, pause, and you grab your controller, you go into your like kitchen, and you open your iPad, and you hit play, and then it just pops on your iPad, and you keep playing. That's pretty neat. It's really cool. But it's kind of been done before, right?
I like that story, though. What happened there? So you were playing on your TV, and you just got kicked off your TV.
Yeah.
And now you have to play on your iPad in the kitchen alone.
Yep.
But now it's possible.
Now it's possible. The thing is, there's things like Shadow
Fine,
PC,
Dad.
there's OnLive. So, like, what makes this different? Outside of, well, one, it's the latency and the fact that Google has a really fast infrastructure. But two, there's a couple other really unique things happening here. And this is what really starts to make it special. First off, your game state is being constantly saved. So that's kind of like the same of having a quick save that's going all the time. Just quick save, quick save, quick save, quick save, quick save, and it's just all being logged. And so imagine, if you will, you're watching Shroud play PUBG. Well, actually, that wouldn't work as a multiplayer game. Imagine, if you will, you're watching me and Sam at Node playing Resident Evil 2, the remake on PC. And we're getting this big boss fight. It's getting really crazy. We've got a bunch of rockets, and we're about to get in this awesome showdown. And you're like, boy, that looks fun. And then you click on it, and you go to that exact moment in the game on your Stadia setup and start playing it. Because any save state you can load up. So it's like having a time code stamp for like a video, but for a video game. So you can just jump right to that moment and start playing right from that moment with the exact same settings and the exact
With
same
the people that are in the
state.
game?
That could be pretty
No,
cool.
you can do it with multiplayer.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to be single player.
It seems like it's really good for
That's
like
crazy.
story-based games too,
Yeah.
where people are about to make a decision. You're like, whoa, don't do that, and then you can hop in and see what happens.
Yeah.
Pick a new decision.
But you can't hop in with the person that's in
No.
the single player game.
No.
No, it's basically just like watching a game video and then just suddenly you're playing it.
So it'll give you all the same things that happened prior to that moment.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's like literally just stealing their game save and playing from that same point.
I wonder that here's something funny. That like Twitch plays Pokemon, like how they had this thing where there's like this group-based game that was going. You could probably do something really funny like that, where it's like musical games basically, where you have a save state that's being streamed, and it's being passed around to like random users who get to make decisions, like one button press at a time or something.
That'd be cool.
Maybe
really
each person has 5 seconds to do whatever they want.
Yeah, if everyone was just 5 seconds in the game.
Somebody's definitely gonna steal your idea, Sam, and make that happen.
When's this coming out?
I don't know. Do you guys want to hear the dark side of Stadia?
Always.
Ooh, what's up? Lift up those servers. What's underneath?
I mean, they are doing something interesting here with the controller. So they've designed their own new controller. You can continue to use USB controllers from any other game console from the last 10 years or whatever.
Good.
But the Stadia controller is specifically hooking up to the server directly through Wi-Fi. It's not actually connecting to your Chromecast or your laptop or whatever. It's completely separate, and it's communicating directly with the Google servers to decrease that lag even further.
Which is crazy.
So I was like, okay, it's the main reason why I've never really been interested in online game streaming, because it's like the latency is not there. But if it is there, and I could just like pull out my phone and have like a great high quality PC gaming experience, just like all I have to do is have the internet. It's like, I think that's pretty interesting. But now I'm interested in hearing the dark side of this.
The dark side. Imagine, if you will, a subscription-style platform for playing video games like YouTube, where they encourage you to create the most watch time. But instead, it's playtime for a video game. Whichever
Playtime,
video game
guys.
gets the most playtime, gets the biggest slice of the ad revenue and subscription revenue.
Get
So
the biggest
anybody out
pinata.
there making the biggest grind fest with the best little like Skinner box loot boxes to just suck away as many minutes from people as they can is going to make the most revenue.
Because they want you to stay on the platform as
So
long as
imagine-
possible.
Imagine for a second, if you will, what kind of video games that's going to be incentivizing people to make.
Destiny, but less fun.
Exactly.
Okay.
We've already seen the kind
Apex
of
Legends and Fortnite.
we've already seen the kind of filler that you get on YouTube with how the algorithm promoted watch time. There's no such thing as a tutorial that's 2 minutes long. Every tutorial is huge, and every video has filler. Even our videos have some filler, but we've gotten way better at that. Our videos are actually mostly killer now.
Filler or killer.
But not before. They didn't used to be killer.
Don't you think that they'll do something about that, though, if it starts to ruin the platform?
Yep, it's optimism coming in here. Optimism, smashing through
Optimism
that
or
wall.
optimization?
Optimism, smashing through like Mr.
Optimism,
Kool-Aid.
optimizing.
Boom,
It
he
will
comes
be
through.
just good enough for
Phases.
people not to complain about
No,
it.
it's phases. It's phases.
Yeah, well, still making them on the platform as long as possible so
Exactly.
they can
No.
consume as many
It's gonna be
ads
the
as
same as like
No.
daytime television.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right, Alex
It'll be
Jones.
talk show hosts, like easy to produce per minute.
how dare you?
Conspiracy theories. No, it's all in
That's
phases.
not a conspiracy
It's
theory. That's
phases.
just
It's-
economics.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's basically economics. It's
It-
going to lead to a promotion of a certain type of game, which is a easygoing time sucker.
But if
Hey,
it
boyos.
goes too far, people will revolt.
Right, and then they'll pull it back and they'll find that nice middle ground. But here's what here's what I'm worried about. I don't play video games to kill time. I don't have time to kill. I don't like killing time. You're killing a little bit of yourself when you kill time. That's really deep, guys. You can take that one home.
We are time.
Here, let me talk.
No, hold on. I play video games for
That's why I've been interrupting you guys. 'Cause
Sorry,
I'm trying to
I'm
say
almost
something.
done. I'm almost done. This is what I'm getting to.
Ever since-
Optimistic
I play
Sam
video
over
games.
there.
Ever since I started saying optimism, because I was about to actually go
wait.
into it as
Let's
something.
finish the pessimism, and then we'll get
Sam's
to the
like, your train is on the tracks. Get out of the way. My train's getting in here.
It's optimistic as shit.
This is one of those trains you
Sam
wait at
doesn't care
freaking
what I have to
crossroads for like
say.
15 minutes, and the cars
You're
keep
waiting
going
for
past.
it to run over the penny.
And it's just like the Niko train. All the train cars just.
Did you guys
Come
ever
on.
set out pennies and watch
No,
trains
no.
crush?
Nico, finish your thought.
I'm
Please.
looking. I can't even see the
Finish your
caboose of this
thought.
train. This Niko train. It's like.
Just
I'm just
start
trying to
talking.
say that I play video games for emotional stimulation. I want my video games to move me and be emotionally fulfilling. And you don't do that by having me sit on the couch and grind away for hours on end.
That sounds sappy. You
I
must
want my
love
video
those,
games to be like the Stanley Parable or Portal 2.
Japanese
There'll always be
No.
games like
where
that,
it blows
though.
me away with
They're
awesome
not going to be the
setups.
most popular games in the world, but it's the same thing like oil.
Yeah.
Okay, eventually when all the cars are electric, people will still buy oil, but it'll be like super expensive, and you'll buy it in the little jar,
Right, so-
and you'll use it for the 1905 Model T that you have.
I'll have to wait for the little like
Or
pokey
you know,
devs.
all plastic.
Oh, okay. Anyways, so
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of like the Destiny style.
no,
video
I think those games are stupid and they're lame and they're for kids because it's like
Because kids want to kill time.
because kills want to kill.
So what's your
time.
optimistic point of
No,
all this, Sam? Because I'm not buying it.
Look, I think it's just going to come in phases and waves. Like things get popular and then they don't get popular, and basically if they oversaturate the market, the one like cool story-based RPG like experimental thing that comes out that year is going to blow up or like be popular, and then people are going, oh, let's just make something else now. Like it still happens like right now. Like we're still seeing tons of like incredible games coming out that are experimental or emotional, making me cry. You know,
What's the last game that made you cry? A game has made you cry before?
I don't know. Let me think.
Smash Brothers when I beat him this
Yeah,
morning.
it was Smash Brothers.
I saw Sam weeping.
2 minutes ago, I had to wipe the tears away from my little screen.
You were weeping?
When Ren took his Bowser and tackled Sam right off the edge, and I won because both of them only had one stock, Sam was crying.
No, games don't make me cry.
Sam.
The only game that made me cry ever was The Last Guardian. That was a cryful game.
All right.
How much longer do you think the battle royale genre is gonna continue trucking away?
I mean, how long?
I mean,
does
it'll be around
FPS,
forever.
FPS is here to stay.
But I don't think anyone understood what made PUBG effective. I think everyone got it wrong.
Okay.
Even
I think-
Apex Legends. Legends.
Yes. Apex Legends is a different style of game. That's the thing. It's like it's quote-unquote battle royale. Same with Fortnite, quote-unquote battle royale. Fortnite gets a little bit of it right, but I think Apex Legends is... Like, PUBG is a little bit different. PUBG, you create more of a story when you play it. And, hey, guys, we're going to talk about video games for a second here. Here we go.
Back to video games.
Back to video
No,
games.
we're still on
That
video
didn't take
games.
long.
Hold on.
So there was... With basically video game shooters, there was one style of format that you stuck with for years and years and years. Halo kind of followed the same gameplay loop. Call of Duty followed the same gameplay loop and made it even better. And like other video games came out and followed the same gameplay loop, which is give you cool guns, give you cool tactics, have things be slightly imbalanced. When you go into a situation, it's interesting. And pop, 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 bang, 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 see who wins, do it again. Great. Counter-Strike
30 seconds
started
of fun.
it. Yeah, exactly. Counter-Strike started. Here's the issue. Tactics for gunplay in video games, when you don't value your character's life, tactics are very different. You becomes a twitch fest. It becomes jump in right in front of the other guy. He's done the same thing, and so you can twitch the fastest, or so you can have the best positioning when somebody runs into a room. PUBG changed that. PUBG was inspired by DayZ because DayZ kind of kicked this off, which was, hey, what if your character just died forever when you died? How would you play a shooter then? You wouldn't run into a room to see how many people you can drop before you go down. You would play it very, very differently.
Yeah.
And when you create value for the character's life, it changes how you approach a situation tactically. And honestly, that's kind of what makes a gunfight more interesting. It's not how twitchy you can be, but how can you approach a situation to get out of there without getting shot. And so that creates very different tactics. It creates very different ways you position yourself. It creates very different ways you approach a situation with friends, because it's not, who can go in there Rambo the quickest and go out in the biggest blaze of glory. So this was happening in DayZ, but the problem with DayZ is that you have to wait like 4 hours before you could get into like a real fight, because you have to go find all your stuff. And then if you died or the game glitched out, it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And then they basically took that concept. It's actually Player Unknown, Brandon or whatever his name is. He had played it wasn't the Hunger Games, it's the Survivor Games from DayZ, and he got inspired. He's like, this like has people value their life. It has people treat gunfights completely differently, and the extra benefit, tactically, your experience in a gunfight is always different, because you're not just playing the same map. You're not just doing DE Dust 2 over and over and over, because the fights boil down to a different area of the map every time, and tactically, you have to approach it differently every time. And so then he went off and he made the Battle Royale mod for Arma, which is more or less the same thing as what you play in PUBG these days. And that circle, when it closed in different areas, would force you to approach the fights differently. Are you fighting in the valley between two mountains? Are you fighting in a city? Are you fighting on the coast? Each one of those is a different way of how you have to approach the battle. And on top of that, you have value for your character's life. It's not just go out there and get as many kills as you can. So that got brought into PUBG, and what it led to is it creates a story when you play the video game. You're emotionally involved in the game. You have this dramatic adventure you go through as you go through the hills, and you find your cars and your guns, and you fight your way to eventually winning the game. In a game like Apex Legends, still a super fun game, it's not really about this dramatic emotional story. Apex Legends is starting to blur the line back between getting back into like the instant action, getting into some quick fights, but you still have a little bit of the emotional journey of a battle royale game. But it's not going in the direction that PUBG was pushing games towards, whereas I think something like Escape from Tarkov is PUBG taken even further into the like emotional rawness of.
See,
like,
I never got
that
into
character's
that. I
story.
think that's why I never got into like PUBG or Tarkov for that matter. It's like I didn't have the patience for it. It's like I totally understand the feeling of going for the story and the adventure and the experience you get from that. But part of me is also just like I just want to jump in and shoot some people and then like jump around and then if I die.
That's totally cool. I'm totally down for
around.
that too. Yeah, I think. I mean, everybody has their different types of games, but I think Battle Royale is not just about going in, shooting people as fast as you can, and hope that you're the last one alive, which is kind of what like Call of Duty's Battle Royale like push towards, and it's a little bit what Apex Legends pushes towards. It's like Apex Legends pushes more towards team play actually, more than like any other Battle Royale game. And it's just like Apex Legends has the team play aspect more motivated and promoted. It also has the tactical, like each tactical engagement is different because of how the areas you're getting pushed into is different. And so it has those aspects like PUBG taken over. It doesn't really have the, like, I'm going on a long journey. I really value my character's life. I've been invested in this for half an hour. It doesn't really have that going on for it. You can die. Your teammates can go to a little thing and revive you with your cell phone, But that's cool. Like they're experimenting with the formula, which is awesome.
Yeah.